Hello everyone, I'm Mars1952, and today I'm going to be talking about the knife I carry on a daily basis. And it's not really just a knife, it's a multi-purpose tool by Kershaw, the Kershaw A100C. Got the flip-out blade. The viewfinder is backwards, I have a hard time keeping this centered. Came with a nice sheath. This is on the second Kershaw brand that I bought. It was an old one that somebody else had for a long time and never used. It has a flip-out knife, which that's the function I use the most, and has multiple other tools. And the main thing is a pair of vice grip pliers, needle nose vice grips. At the time when I bought this, it was the only multi-purpose tool that had a vice grip on it. So this is made in USA. Still has the original box. In 1992. This sold for $99.95, but I believe I got it on sale and I had a coupon or something to get it down to about 75 bucks. So here's the original box. You might be able to see there that it still has a price tag on it. $99.90 something. Anyway, I love this thing. So I use this, I think I said this already, but I use this at least a dozen times a day, sometimes 50 times a day, just constantly reaching for it. I don't have it on my belt right now, so I can show you the sheath. This is the original sheath. It's pretty worn out. The Velcro doesn't even stick anymore. 1992. This is the original sheath. You can see it's pretty well worn. The Velcro is completely worn out. So I called up Kershaw one day to get parts, because I break this on a regular basis. Break the pins. And I said, I'd like to buy a sheath. And they said, oh no, we'll just send you one. So they sent me this one. This is now my dress sheath. When we get cleaned up to go someplace, and casual enough that I can carry a knife on my belt, but not so casual that I can go with my dirty work clothes.
This is the sheath that Kershaw sent me as a replacement, my dress sheath.
So I like this so much I bought a backup, and for a while they were selling these at Sears. This is the Craftsman version. Here's the Craftsman. Got a missing pin that I haven't replaced yet. The Craftsman is identical to the A100C. It's just marketed by Craftsman. They discontinued this at Sears too. Craftsman Sheath. That's up right side up. So you can have a sheath that says Craftsman. It's identical, and they had at Sears. They had this little kit with all the little blades and so forth that are in there. Replacement parts kit. That I've never worn out any of these, so I've had this for 20 years almost. Yeah, 92 to 2012. And anyway, those don't wear out. What wears out is the blade. I've sharpened this so many times that there's almost no serration on it anymore. I'll show you this one. This one is like new. I'll have to do a close-up in there. You can see this came with a serrated blade. It's very handy.
Here are the two knife blades compared. This is the old but barely used Kershaw A100C that I just recently purchased. You can see the serrations are nice and sharp still. And this is the one I purchased in 1992. The serrations are pretty much gone since I've sharpened this, I don't know, at least 4 times a year for the last 20 years. So that's 80 sharpenings.
It's a little hard to keep sharp. I end up, gradually it just gets sharpened down to a regular blade. So it has a knife, vice grips, and then the standard Phillips screwdriver, and it has a can opener for metal, like to open metal cans, a file I use, and a little hacksaw. I've used that a couple times. This is rusty just from being in my pocket for so long. It gets wet every once in a while. So use the regular screwdriver, the Phillips screwdriver, every once in a while the file and the hacksaw, but not enough to wear them out. But the thing is really sturdy. I really overuse it. A lot of times I'll clamp down on something, or I'll cut wires with it where I just have to bear down as hard as I can with both hands to get it to cut, and then the wire will jam in there and I'll have to wiggle it to get it to break. but it just holds up to the abuse, except for the occasional pin breaking. Notice this one is missing a pin. I haven't replaced it yet. And I found that the pins don't exactly break. What happens is these are little screws in here. I forgot to bring the spare parts, or I'd show you. It's just this knurled nut on here screws out, and if you allow these to loosen up, then the actual bolt that holds the keeper in there will shear off, because the bolt is not meant, the little screw that holds the bolt in is not meant to take that much stress. Hope this is focused. These are some of the parts that Kershaw has sent me for replacement parts, and you can see in the foreground there are the tiny little screws that thread into the bolts, the cross bolts, and there's two bolts standing up there. One of them has a hole in it, and the other one, the hole's plugged with a broken screw. And that's what usually breaks, is the screw. Now on the right, laying down, that's a bent pin. It was one of the jaw pins that I bent one day when I was squeezing with all my might and abusing the poor tool. So now when I take them apart and clean them, put them back together, and with new parts, I put a little bit of Loctite on there, and it doesn't come apart anymore. This is the knife I carry. I feel like I'm naked without it. If I forget to put it on in the morning, I'll be out and I'll just reach a dozen times at least before I remember, I don't have it. And when I bought the thing, when I bought it, there were two reasons I decided to get it, even though it was very expensive for 1992. It had the single hand open and close on the knife blade. The knife blade is on the outside. On the Leathermans and other ones like that I've had, the knife is on the inside, and you have to fold it out, then you fold it shut, and then you have a knife that you can work with. But that was sort of always cumbersome to me. This is much superior. You can just get it out and use it, put it away with one hand. I don't have the sheath on. So there was the knife blade and then the vice grips. I use these vice grips all the time. Grab a hold of nuts on the back of something when I'm trying to loosen them up. I've taken this thing to the scrapyard and dismantled stuff and gotten parts off of it just using this. I don't recommend that because it was painful, but it can be done. The only flaw that I found in this design is that these jaws are close together, and sometimes when you're really bearing down and it slips, you get the meat of your palm pinched in there. I've given myself about half a dozen good blood blisters over the years, and it's painful enough that it helped me remember not to do that. Another good thing about it is, since the tools are on the inside, you have a smooth surface, a relatively smooth surface to grip. That's one of the reasons I chose this over the Leatherman they had at the time, because the Leatherman it didn't have a nice smooth gripping surface. So the vice grips are adjustable with this little knurled nut. You can open up pretty far. I think that's the end right there. But once you get out too far, then it doesn't grip very well because your angles aren't right. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but it's been discontinued. So what I'd really like you guys to do is to call up or email Kershaw and ask them to start making this again, because this is a great tool. I think you'd really like it. Remake this thing. It's a A100C. Thanks. I made this video as an entry in Brothers Keeper 111. Actually, Brothers Keepers, plural, 111. He has a little contest going for 6,000 subscribers. But I also have a contest going for 1 million views, sort of a giveaway combination. Go to my channel, Mars1952 at YouTube, and you'll find out all about it. Compare it to the old beat-up sheath, and this is an old unused sheath. It came with my second Kershaw multi-tool.